Hey everyone, so today we're talking about heat. But, not just the number you see on your weather app. We're going to dig into the hidden dangers of heat and explore why the temperature you actually feel is so much more important than what a simple thermometer tells you. Let's get right into it.
So let me ask you a simple question. Is 30 degrees Celsius always 30 degrees Celsius? I mean, it seems obvious, right? You look at the forecast, you see the number, and you figure, okay, I know what to expect. But what if I told you the answer is a big, fat no? Just think about it for a second. Picture 30 degrees in a dry desert. The air's crisp, right? Sweat evaporates almost instantly, and the heat, well, it feels manageable. Now, take that exact same 30 degrees and drop it in the middle of a humid jungle. Suddenly the air is thick, it's sticky, sweat is just clinging to your skin, and that same heat feels totally oppressive, almost suffocating. The number on the thermometer hasn't changed one bit, but the way your body experiences it is worlds apart. See, that single number just doesn't cut it. So to really get a handle on the risk, we have to decode what we call real-feel heat. It's all about measuring the combined stress on your body, not just from the air temperature, but from all the different things going on in the environment. And that is exactly where this crucial professional standard comes into play, the wet bulb globe temperature, or WBGT for short. Now, this isn't just some fancy scientific term. It's a really smart way to measure heat stress because it combines everything: the air temperature, the humidity, and, this is the big one, the intense radiant heat you get from direct sunlight. It boils it all down to one single accurate number. To really get what WBGT is, you got to look at its three parts. First, you've got your standard dry bulb temperature. Basically, that's just the temperature in the shade. Simple enough. Then, there's the wet bulb temperature. This measures the cooling effect of evaporation. It's the reason a humid day feels so sticky and gross. And finally, you have the black globe temperature, which is all about capturing that intense heat you feel when you're standing right out in the sun. WBGT is the magic formula that puts all three together to give you the real picture.
Okay, so the concept makes sense. But how do we actually measure it out in the real world, especially in high-stakes places like construction sites or military bases, where this stuff can literally be a matter of life and death? Well, let's meet the tools that make it all happen.
And here it is. This is the complete WBGT monitoring system. Now, I know it might look like a box of complicated parts, but trust me, every single piece has a critical job to do. You've got your sensors, a central brain, and an alert system all working together. So let's break down exactly how this thing keeps people safe. We'll start with the star of the show right here, the WBGT sensor itself. This matte black sphere is specifically designed to act just like a person standing in the sun. It absorbs that radiant heat perfectly, thanks to a special coating that has a really high heat absorption rate. It lets the system measure that direct, sun-on-your-skin feeling with incredible accuracy.
Now, for the next piece of the puzzle, the weather sensor. This little guy takes care of the other two key variables we were just talking about. It measures the standard air temperature, that's our dry bulb, and it also measures the humidity in the air, which is what the system uses to figure out the wet bulb temperature.
So where does all this information go? It all gets fed directly into this box, the data logger. You can think of this as the system's brain. It's constantly collecting all the data from both the globe and the weather sensor, and then it does the complex WBGT calculation all in real time.
And that brings us to the final output. If the data logger is the brain, then the display and the alarm, they're the system's voice. The big, bright LED screen shows the current WBGT value so everyone can see it, while the alarm gives off an immediate, impossible-to-ignore warning the second conditions become dangerous. All right, so all the theory and the product specs are great, but let's see how this system actually performs out in the field, on a real day on the job, because this is where the tech really proves its worth.
And here you go, we see the system in its natural habitat, a super busy construction site. It's set up right there in the middle of all the action, constantly monitoring the actual conditions that the workers are dealing with, minute by minute. It's a perfect example of how it's used for occupational safety.
And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. The feedback from the people actually using it is about as simple and direct as it gets. Working good with a thumbs up. When you're talking about safety equipment, that is exactly what you want to hear. It's reliable, it's effective, and it's doing its job.
Now look at this number right here, 29.3 degrees Celsius. That's not the air temperature, that's the WBGT value. This is the single actionable number that a site manager needs to make critical safety calls, like, okay, everyone, mandatory water break, or even changing up work schedules to prevent heat stroke.
So we've seen all the parts and we've seen it in action. Now let's just quickly tie it all together and see how it connects to form one seamless safety system. This is where the whole thing really shines.
The whole process is just a constant automated loop. Step 1, the sensors are out there gathering all the raw environmental data. Step 2, that info is sent through a hardwired connection to the data logger. Step 3, the system's brain crunches the numbers and calculates that all-important WBGT value. And finally, Step 4, it instantly updates the display and trips the alarm if any safety line gets crossed.
So what does this all really mean? It means this isn't just a measurement tool. It's an active, vigilant safety net. This continuous cycle of data collection and alerts makes sure that protection is happening automatically and in real time. Nobody has to constantly run outside to check a thermometer. So let's just wrap this up by looking at the big picture. Why does all of this really matter? Well, it's about moving beyond casual tools. You know, like your phone's weather app, especially when people's health and safety are on the line. So here are the main things to take away. First, this technology measures what your body actually feels, the real feel heat. Second, it is a direct tool to help prevent serious, sometimes even fatal, heat-related illnesses. For any business, it's a huge help in ensuring compliance with safety rules. And at the end of the day, it just creates a safer, and because of that, a more productive worksite for everybody.
And this all leaves us with a pretty fascinating question for the future, doesn't it? We've just seen how technology can make the invisible danger of heat stress totally visible and manageable. So what other unseen risks, things like air quality or maybe even radiation, will systems like this help us conquer next? Thanks for tuning in.